Hey y'all, Intrepid Studios and Ashes of Creation just dropped a bomb on all of our foreheads. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been streaming a lot. Which, by the way, if you're not following me over on Twitch or watching the streams here on YouTube, and you're looking for lots of Ashes of Creation conversation, go ahead and do that. We've been having lots of great discussions, and one of the discussions that we've had several times over the last few streams is about server queues whenever we first get started at the launch of Ashes of Creation, and server merges, and how you can negate server queues by having lots of servers, but then that creates where you have to have more server merges down the line, and server merges being a very different thing in Ashes of Creation than other MMOs. So that's been a big topic of discussion. I was literally in the middle of recording a video about solving the problem of server merges and server queues at the launch of Ashes of Creation when this news just dropped. And I've had to just go delete that video, and the video is a completely moot point now. So let's real quickly, if you're not that person who follows the news category on the Ashes of Creation Discord, they just dropped basically what the next live stream is going to be about. That, coupled with something else I found out a little bit later on, really changes the game. So here is real quickly the news update. It says our next development live stream featuring an Alpha 2 server meshing technology preview is coming to you live on Friday, June 28th, 2024, and then it gives your time zone. It's 1 o'clock Central Time if that's where you are. Okay. So immediately, the Ashes of Creation Discord and all of the other Discords out there that talk about Ashes of Creation just lit up. Everybody started talking about server meshing technology. I don't pretend to be some type of professional coder, developer, programmer, none of that. I don't understand this crap. I don't know our server technology. I don't understand. The basics of it, from what I understand, is instead of having one physical server that everybody logs into that's on a server. So let's say your server was Norland, which is what I played on in the Alpha 1. Everybody who was on Norland was on one physical server, one computer, if you will. That's not really accurate, but one computer, if you will. Server meshing makes it where different parts of the world are individual physical servers, but meshes them in a way that it's seamless and you don't see that seam. You can just walk from one server to the other without essentially a loading screen. And I guess the other space game, Star Citizen, uses this technology, and there was lots of conversation about Star Citizen, how the technology does not work. It creates bloat. There's all kinds of problems related to the server meshing technology in Star Citizen. And then Phantom X, which if you guys aren't following Phantom X as he's an Ashes of Creation content creator, and the Theory Forge and his whole thing, I'll drop links to his stuff down in the description below. Definitely go follow him. It's absolutely worth the follow. He posted a short transcript of something that Steven said in the live stream last month that everybody just glossed over and didn't pay enough attention to, and there's a specific word in there, or a couple of specific words in there, that really matter. So let's read that. All right, so this says, it's very important, and I think it gives you guys a look at some of the more nitty-gritty side of the development. It's not going to be as shining and awe as the Node War demonstration, but it's going to give you insight to how we approach these massive problems. Not just problems for us as a project, but problems for games in general. How do they do service such high player densities? What is our proprietary approach to doing that, and basically the ace up our sleeve that is trying to make another massively multiplayer online role-playing game? That word, proprietary, that's a big deal, because what that says is, yes, they are looking into server meshing technology. They are looking into server meshing technology, but they're not just going with what already exists. The problems that Star Citizen is having, trying to use whatever technology is out there that's available for other people, whether it be open source or just something that you pay for, Ashes of Creation potentially will not have that problem because they are building their own solution. It's proprietary. It's just their solution. So what does that mean for you as a player? here's what it means for you as a player. Let's say that an individual server can only have like 1,500 or 2,000 players on it. Maybe 5,000, whatever the number is. I don't know. I'm, again, not a coder. I don't know about server technology, but I do know there's a limitation to it. The physical server can only have so many people on it. Well, if they have, let's say, 4 servers per server, 4 physical servers per one named server that people are playing on, one for each of the 4 divine gateways that we're all going to start the game in. Everybody's going to start at one of the 4. Now you can have 2,500 at each one, and now you can have your 10,000 concurrent all logging on to the server at the same time on the same day, on launch day of Ashes of Creation. You're not going to need hundreds upon hundreds of servers to satisfy potentially 1 million or 1.5 million or maybe even 2 million players. You got to keep in mind, in 2021, before Alpha 1, Steven said they had 7 million free accounts on the Ashes of Creation website. That was 3 years ago. It's probably 10 million now. Imagine if half of those people show up. Imagine if a quarter of those people show up. Imagine if 10% of the people who signed up for a free account on AshesOfCreation.com show up on launch day. That's 1 million players. If just 10% show up. And now they aren't going to need hundreds of servers and then server merges where people who put in a bunch of work, and their time and their blood and their sweat and their tears into leveling up their nodes, and they're going to get merged into another one and lose all that work. That's still going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no way to avoid it. But now it's going to happen way, way less. On launch day, they could potentially have queues be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as opposed to many hours with this server meshing technology. Now, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen what it looks like. That's for next week at the live stream, which I'm letting you know now. It sounds to me like it's going to be a banger. I have been making fun of this live stream for 3 weeks now. I've been doing I'm falling asleep every time I talk about it. I was falling asleep listening to Margaret talk about it. Not because she's boring, but because they just said tech. Like, it's just tech. And I'm like, what? But now you say proprietary server technology that the developer of it himself says is the ace up their sleeve? I'm in. You should be in. Ashes of Creation just dropped a bomb on all our foreheads. This is going to be a huge deal. So make sure you're there to check out the live stream next Friday. And then definitely be paying attention to all of your favorite content creators for Ashes of Creation Friday night and going into the weekend, because I promise you, everyone's going to be talking about it. That's all I got for this one today, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.